In today's video tutorial, I'm going to create a beautiful cake that features lots of buttercream piping. We're going to be working today with a simple petal tip and star tip. Okay, I'm starting with a ruffle tip 104, which you can see has a teardrop shaped opening, and the thin end of that opening is pointed to the left. And I'm just using a back and forth motion on my crumb coated cake. And that thin end of the piping tip gives a nice thin edge to our ruffles. So now that I've piped my ruffles from bottom to top, I'm now flipping over the piping tip. The small end is now facing to the right, and I'm going to work my way using that same back and forth motion, this time working from the top of the cake to the bottom. Now I'm just going to add a final detail. I'm using a shell border, piping with a tip 21, and you can see I'm just letting the piping tip go slightly up and back down again as I release the pressure with each shell. Okay, and now it's just a matter of repetition. Once again, I pipe that first row of ruffles going up. I'm going to flip the piping tip so that the small end is facing to the right. And then we're just going to come back down again using the back and forth motion. And you can change the angle of your ruffles if you'd like to by playing around with how you're holding the piping tip. I think it's a good idea to do a practice run on a sheet of wax paper or parchment paper just to get a feel for how your ruffles are going to look. But I think this design has a really elegant look, and as you'll see, it's not difficult to create. So now I'm just speeding up the video because it is a lot of repetition, but I wanted you to be able to see how everything comes together. And if you'd like to try, instead of a shell border, just a simple bead border, I think that would be pretty. It's also a really nice look to have the frosting all one color. So instead of using the green, you might opt to just do pink shells down the middle, and I think that has a really elegant look. So I'm just gradually working my way all the way around. Once again, coming in with our tip 21. If you'd like to use a smaller star tip, that would be really pretty too. I think a 21 is about as big as I would go for this size of ruffle. But you could use a smaller star tip for a nice look as well. Now for the top, I am just going to kind of tie everything together with lots of petals. It kind of goes along with the look that we've done already. And again, I'm using that same back and forth motion. The small end of the piping tip is facing outward so that we have nice thin petals, or a nice thin edge to our petals. And I'm just piping circles of ruffles, just over and over again until finally we finish things off in the middle. And that's it. Okay, so our cake is finished. I love how this cake turned out. I always love cakes that are covered with beautiful buttercream piping. And as you saw, the technique is not difficult. It's just a matter of lots of repetition. And with a little bit of practice, I think it will come really easily to you. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.